Hello everyone, welcome to Brain Blitz Audios. Today, in this episode of Cbse multiple choice questions, we're going to be looking at some sample questions of social science for grade 10. So as you know, the Cbse exam has been altered this year, so therefore we have a first exam in December followed by the second exam later in the academic year. So in December, the exam will be consisting of multiple choice questions, and therefore in this video, we're going to be looking at some sample questions for social science in order to understand how we can solve them. Now, the thing about social science is that there is a lot of material in the textbook, and so therefore it's pivotal that you understand key points from every page in the textbook. Those are the points that will be asked for the exam. So, here comes our first question. Who among the following was the founder of Young Europe Underground Secret Society in Bern? Is it Giuseppe Garibaldi, B. Giuseppe Mazzini, C. Count Cavour, D. Otto von Bismarck? So, how do we solve this question? Let's look at each of the options. Option A is Giuseppe Garibaldi. Well, Garibaldi is the revolutionary who led the Red Shirts to Naples in order to capture the Kingdom of Two Sicilies and then on to the Papal States. So therefore, option A is incorrect. What about option D, Otto von Bismarck? Well, Otto von Bismarck is regarded as the architect behind the unification of Germany. So therefore, option D is also incorrect. He did not find underground secret societies. He was the chief minister of Prussia. Now, what about option C, Count Cavour? Count Cavour helped in the unification of Italy, and he was the chief minister of the kingdom named Sardinia Piedmont. So basically, he was a member of a ruling class, and he helped in forging alliances which helped in the unification of North Italy. So option C is incorrect. The correct answer is option B, Giuseppe Mazzini. So Mazzini was the architect behind the underground secret society Young Europe, which was founded in Bern, and he was also responsible for forming Young Italy, which was formed in Marseille. So as you can see here, this is from page 12 of the first chapter, Rise of Nationalism in Europe, and this is the print in that page which shows Giuseppe Mazzini and the founding of Young Europe in Bern in 1933. So therefore, option B, Mazzini, is the correct option for this question. Now let's look at the next question. Which of the following was the result of the Act of Union 1707? Unification of Germany, unification of the Kingdom of Great Britain, unification of Italy, unification of Vietnam. So again, this is a question from Chapter 1, Rise of Nationalism in Europe. So therefore, option D, unification of Vietnam, is incorrect because Vietnam lies in Asia. Moreover, the unification of Vietnam took place in 1975 after the conclusion of the Vietnam War, when the US fled there. So, among the three options, unification of Germany, Kingdom of Great Britain, Italy. Now, let's look at each of the unifications and their dates. In option A, Germany was unified by Otto von Bismarck, and its ruler, Kaiser Wilhelm, was announced on the 18th of January, 1871. However, this Act of Union was taken in 1707, so therefore option A is incorrect. What about option C, Italy? Well, Italy was united by the efforts of Count Cavour, King Victor Emmanuel II of Sardinia, as well as Giuseppe Garibaldi, and that happened in the 1860s. So 1861 was the year in which Italy was unified. So option C is incorrect. The correct option is option B, unification of the Kingdom of Great Britain. The Kingdom of Great Britain was unified based on this act, which gave England power over Scotland. So therefore, that was when Britain started to unify itself under England's control. So if you look at the textbook, you will find on page 22 in chapter 1 this paragraph. The English Parliament, which had seized power from the monarchy in 1688 at the end of a protracted conflict, was the instrument through which a nation-state with England as its centre came to be forged. The Act of Union in 1707 between England and Scotland resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, meant in effect that England was able to impose its influence on Scotland. So, therefore, the correct option here is option B, unification of the Kingdom of Great Britain. Act of Union, which means that that was a bloodless way of forming nationalism, because in Germany as well as Italy there were wars and uprisings taking place, and Vietnam was unified after the Vietnam War, which again was a bloody affair. However, in Great Britain, there was just a protracted conflict, and it was years after that that the Act of Union was ratified, which made England and Scotland part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. So, option B is the correct option. The next question. Identify the correct statement with regard to the Zollverein from the following options. Coalition of Prussian states formed to manage political alliances. Aim was to bind Russia politically into an association. Custom union at the initiative of Prussia. It helped to awaken and raise national sentiment in Europe. So, let's look at the following options. Zollverein helped to awaken and raise national sentiment in Europe. And this would be incorrect, because what helped to awaken national sentiment was the upheaval in France in 1848, where the kingdom was once again overthrown and Louis Philippe was made as the president. So therefore, option D is incorrect. Remember, the word Zollverein is German, so therefore option D is incorrect. National sentiment was raised by France in 1848. Now, coalition of Prussian states formed to manage political alliances. This was done in 1848 again at the Church of St. Paul. This was the Frankfurt Parliament, so therefore option A is incorrect. Now, what about option B? Aim was to bind Prussia politically into an association. Binding Prussia was the job of the chief minister, which was Bismarck then, so therefore option B is also incorrect. Option C, it was a custom union at the initiative of Prussia, is the correct answer. So as you can see, this is an extract of page 10 of chapter 1, Nationalism in Europe. So in 1834, Customs Union or Zollverein was formed at the initiative of Prussia and joined by most of the German states. Union abolished tariff barriers and reduced the number of currencies from over 30 to 2. Creation of a network of railways further stimulated mobility, harnessing economic interest to national unification. So this talks about economic liberalism and the initiative of Prussia, which is the Zollverein, which was also known as the Customs Union. So option C, Custom Union at the initiative of Prussia, is the correct answer. Now, the next question. This is again from chapter 1, Nationalism in Europe. Which of the following countries were involved in the 3 wars with Prussia and ended with victory and unification of Germany? So here we're talking about the unification of Germany. This happened in the 1860s. This happened in the late 1860s and early 1970s. So this was when Prussia started to unify the rest of the German states by fighting with countries. So Poland then did not exist. It was part of the Habsburg Empire, so option A is incorrect. Turkey then was under the Ottomans, and there was no record of Prussians fighting with the Ottomans then, so option C was incorrect. England by then was not present. It was the Kingdom of Great Britain, and again Germany, and again Prussia did not engage with England in that time period, so option D was incorrect. The correct option was option B, Austria, Denmark, and France. All 3 of these were neighbors of the German states, and most of them were controlling German states except for Prussia. Prussia was under the influence of Bismarck, and they were instrumental in, and Prussia was instrumental in unifying the rest of Germany. So 3 wars over 7 years with Austria, Denmark, and France. This is from page 19, which talks about the unification of Germany, chapter number 1. And it ended in Prussian victory and completed the process of unification in January 1871. The Prussian King William I was proclaimed German Emperor in a ceremony held at Versailles. So, option B, Austria, Denmark, and France, is the correct answer. Now, this is the final question of this episode. This is again from chapter 1, the rise of nationalism in Europe. So as you can see, we have questions regarding details which are embedded deep in the chapter. So therefore, it's very important to study the entire chapter and particularly details inside each of these chapters. Identify the ideology under which people demanded freedom of markets in early 19th century Europe. Romanticism, liberalism, socialism, rationalism. So, let's look at each of the following options. Option D is rationalism. Rationalism, it says that the use of reason becomes the chief source and test of knowledge. So, any knowledge that we receive or find out is to be sourced and tested by reason. So reason is what drives knowledge. So option D is regarding the test of knowledge, so option D was incorrect. Romanticism is the opposite of rationalism. So in Romanticism, we talk about cultural movements to develop nationalism. So Romanticism talks about the identity of a nation, and it talks about the common culture that the people in each nation have. So examples being the formation of Britannia, Germania, Marianne, etc., representing representing Britain, Germany, and France respectively. So option A is also incorrect. What about option C, socialism? Well, in socialism, the idea is that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned and regulated by the whole community. So it's the community as a whole which regulates the market and the means of how to produce, distribute, and exchange with others. So therefore, option C is also incorrect. The correct option is B, liberalism. So liberalism is to free people from the shackles of the aristocrats, and under this ideology, people demanded freedom in markets as well as economics and trades in the early 19th century. So option B, liberalism, is the correct answer. And again, let's look at the extract from page 9. So in page 9, it says liberalism stood for the freedom of markets and the abolition of state-imposed restrictions on the movement of goods and capital. This is in the economic sphere. So basically, liberalism stood for freedom and abolition of restrictions. It's based on any sphere. For economics, it stood for market freedom and abolition of state restrictions. So therefore, among the 4 options, it is clear that option B, liberalism, is the correct answer. So that concludes this episode of Brain Blitz Audios. So if you like what you saw, please consider subscribing to our channel. We have a lot of educational videos in various playlists. If you want to access the playlist containing Cbse MCQs, then please don't forget to click its link that's present in the description box below. Also, if you want to get the latest updates, then please consider pressing the bell icon, the notifications icon, which will give you the latest updates of videos when and if we post it. So therefore, until the next episode, take care, stay safe, bye bye for now.